Hey guys, welcome to Top 5 with Joss here. We'll be talking today with Susan Marin. Now, she's a sales consultant who has an awesome consultancy over in Spain. She has worked for companies like IBM in the IT consultancy, moving from working with B2B and the public sector to now consulting in her own agency. So, super excited for this call. And Susan, what are your top 5 tips for people wanting to get into public sector and B2B sales?
Okay, first I would say you need to pick up the phone more, okay? Too many people these days use email on LinkedIn, okay? Pick up that phone and get speaking to people. Find out where they hang out. Accidentally on purpose, bump into them, Don't be afraid to use every tactic you can to get in front of your ideal client. They're not going to kick you out the door, really, they're not. They're not going to slam the phone down on you. Get as close to your customer as possible, okay? So if I was to give one tip, we're going to cover 5 here, but my first one has got to be pick up the phone and speak to your ideal clients. Don't email them.
So really looking for the most direct form of communication you can.
Yeah, it's really important to start building those relationships as quickly as possible. And, getting to speak to somebody is a very quick and very close way of talking and getting to somebody. Ideally, if you can bump into them and meet them at an event of some kind, great. But that can take a bit of time and a bit of planning. Picking up the phone takes seconds, minutes to speak to somebody. So go for the phone is my number 1 tip.
Perfect.
Number 2, you want number 2 now?
I love number 2.
Love number 2. Okay. You need to find their pain. There is, I think the common perception is that many people think of salespeople are the ones that present their solution, they convince their clients, they're really good at presenting. There is no point in presenting anything until you find your customer's pain. What is their need? What is their requirement? What is keeping them awake at night? You have to find their pain and their trouble and their need before you start trying to solve it. And too many B2B salespeople, consultants, they just assume they know what the pain and the problem is. No, don't do that. You need to ask great questions and find the pain. And that kind of brings me on to the 3rd tip, which is to use these 2 things you have on either side of your head, is to listen carefully to what your client is saying. Because show that you're interested. This is the really essential bit of rapport building. Active listening skills and listening to your client is really important. So looking them in the eye, Joss, nodding to show that you understand what they're saying and really taking it on board. Using one of these as well, notepad and pen, brilliant. This all shows that you're really listening to what your client is saying. And when when your client can see that you're listening to them, they will really want to do business with you. They will feel closely aligned to you. Okay, so that's my 3rd tip: is listen effectively, listen actively. My next tip really is to don't forget to ask for the business. Okay, I saw this a lot in my consultancy days when I worked for a big outsourcer. And, you'd have a lot of meetings with the client. And sometimes I'd come out the door thinking, so what did we achieve there? Did anybody actually ask for the business? So it's really important to say, look, when are you going to make a decision on this? When are you going to buy? When are you looking to buy? Because at the end of the day, you and your prospective clients are there to have a conversation about a sale. And to sell, well, by definition of sell, is that exchange of goods and services for cash. Yeah? And that's what you're both there to do. Yeah. So don't expect your customer just to throw money at you. You have got to actually ask for it. It's like, please can I have the money and I'll give you my fantastic product, which will save your pain and it will take all your troubles away. You have to do this transaction. So you have to ask for the business. Don't be afraid of asking for the business. They're not going to kick you out the door. Trust me, they're not. Okay. So tip number 5. Tip number 5 is monitor your numbers. Okay. Don't just focus on revenue. Don't just focus on cost. Don't just focus on profit. You also need to look at the activity that will get you to the revenue. So if you look at how much, what is your average sale? How many meetings does it take to get to a sale? How many telephone calls does it take for you to get a meeting with someone? How much research do you have to do? How much advertising do you have to do? How many Twitter messages, LinkedIn messages, whatever it is, does it take you to get to the phone call stage? So start to monitor all of these numbers. They're called in business KPIs, which stands for Key Performance Indicators. And, try and record those numbers on a regular basis. Weekly, fantastic. And then if your revenue starts to do this, all you do is you go back to your numbers and see what you did differently. And go, oh, I didn't do many phone calls last week. That might be the reason my revenue went like this. So tip number 5, monitor your business and monitor your numbers.
Okay.
Is that good for you?
That's fantastic, mate. So really, like you said before, the end goal, you should be monitoring those numbers, but you should also be monitoring what goes on before that point, so you can actually shift what needs to be shifted in order to get the result. Yeah.
You see, the thing is, you should always be asking, here's tip number 6, bonus tip for you. If you don't get the sale, ask the client why, okay? Especially when it's a big tender. You need to know what you didn't do to get that business, okay? So you can change it for next time. If you get the sale, even more important to ask, why did you give the business to me? Because you can keep on doing it. So, ask for testimonials, ask for case studies, thank your customer and say, well, why did you choose me? And that there you go. There's a bonus tip for you. It's probably one of the most powerful ones as well.
What I'm hearing most of my audience would be saying to us is, it sounds like one-on-one kind of stuff. Like, I'm assuming you must see this. It is one-on-one stuff, but how many people are actually failing to do it when you speak to them?
What, failing to count their numbers?
Failing to do the top 5 tips you've just given.
I would say that they're maybe doing all of them, really. They're failing to do all of them. They're failing to ask right questions, to find the right pain. And they just, I think there's this perception that selling is all about standing there and going, oh, look at my fantastic phone that I've got for you today to sell to you. It's fantastic. Does this, and it's only $700. You want this, don't you? Yes, you do. You need it in your life. Oh, blimey. It's hard work. There's no point in me selling you this phone, Joss, when you have got something a lot better than this phone, a lot more fantastic than this phone, and it works brilliantly and it's fully charged and it's fantastic. I'm wasting my time. So it's finding the pain. It's knowing how many times you've got to, do the activity you have to do and the result you're going to get for it. And I would say that of those 5 tips, I very rarely see anybody that's probably doing 2 of them really well.
If you think you know these things, revisit your action numbers. If you're not doing them, start doing them straight away. Yeah.
And can I just say one thing about training, one thing about sales is that, a lot of people go on a sales training course and they think, yeah, great, I've been on the course, I can sell now. That's it, I can sell. Or I've sold my car to my neighbor or whatever. Yeah, I'm a salesperson. No, the thing about selling, it's continual. You need regular training, regular coaching, because selling becomes, the more you do it and the more you do it correctly, the better habit it becomes, the more natural it becomes. But you have to train like an athlete. Salespeople, great salespeople, have done a lot of training over the years, a lot of coaching. They've had a lot of support. They've been held accountable a lot by their businesses. And that's what makes them great salespeople. They're like superstar athletes.
Fantastic. And speaking of training, I believe you have a Amazon book right now that's available. Could you tell us what that book is and where people can find it?
Okay. The book is called The 9-Day Sales Challenge by myself, Susan Marrett. It's on Amazon, and it's the reason it's the 9-Day Sales Challenge. It talks through the 7 steps of the sales process, and it also touches on confidence and accountability, because those are all the elements you need to know in order to sell. what I really like about doing it is that you're given little tasks at the end of each day, at the end of each challenge, to go out and implement, because it's all very well learning something. You've got to get on and do it. Okay, so get over to your local Amazon store, look for me, Susan Marot, Marot, or check out 9-Day Sales Challenge. I think it's free at the moment, Joss, but if not, it's only about $7 or $8. And if you can get one more sale out of that, out of one tip, it's an excellent return on investment, I say.
Guys, that has been the top 5 with Joss here. Like I said, make sure you actually go and implement what you've learned in these videos. These tips will help you grow your business faster and more efficiently. Go ahead and do it. Until next time, we'll see you on the next episode.